Well, greetings everybody and welcome to another video. Umber's gonna sit up straight, do his hair, not a chance. Messy hair Umbra is always what you get. I am always trying to look my Oberonist for Wotv related things. Anyway, everyone, we're here today to talk a little bit about some Wotv updates for JP, mostly because there isn't too much going on and we haven't gotten news yet. I'm assuming that the news will have to drop tomorrow because it's basically the last day before the end of the month. So, you know, Pokemon Direct happening. I guess no Nintendo Direct. Doesn't seem like it's going to happen, but maybe commentators curse for this video. Let's get into what we're talking about today. So first off, talking about the Arena. Grand Arena is here this week on JP, and it is kind of interesting, kind of annoying. I'm basically here to report my findings. This is the limited time Arena. So basically, like, it is anything lower than a UR is okay, and everything else is actually not okay. But yeah, this is essentially what we are looking, and to, you know, put it into global perspective, hey, that's Maeve's bow that I've put on Curry. So Curry has a specific way. And it's kind of broken down into like 3 specific types of teams that we are seeing. There really isn't like a huge amount of variety. And actually, I'm pretty sure that Kreis is going to be not very long for this world. However, you know, she's doing okay. There's no bonus units or anything like that this week. It's just straight low tier units killing each other. And this is actually pretty fun for all intents and purposes. Like, it's just kind of fun to have all of these units that normally don't get much of a chance doing things. And that brings us to just talking about the types of teams. Like, on higher rarities, what we are seeing is basically a lot of missile teams, dodge teams, and tank teams. Or ironically, like funnily enough, the tank-based teams are just so in like anti-shooting, like kind of doing that. But, you know, evade is kind of doing its own thing. It's not super successful. It's also not terrible either. So, I mean, you get a variety of teams, and to be fair, for the sake of this video, it's not, this ain't me really trying super hard here. This is first day. I'm going for whatever I think I can get some actual points off of. But it's pretty invigorating towards the community. When you saw me climbing the ranks here, there's a lot of people doing it, and that is kind of cool. It's one of these events that I think actually the community is responding quite positively to. And why not? Like, this is something that we haven't seen. I don't think ever. I don't think we've ever. I mean, like, yeah, there is. What do you say? Sorry, I'm like totally lost my train of thought. There is those events or like selection quest for low tier units, but we've never really seen an arena like this. It hasn't been like forced low cost or anything like this. This is just whatever you can get done in I mean, hey, 200 points, that's a full score and 5,000. I know people out there who are playing this and just climbing the ranks. Lots of people are playing it, and pretty much everyone can participate. It's pretty cool. I've seen a few teams in my guild that are like missile that use like Uni, Kuri, and Fina. Gafgarian is actually one of the better units in the entire thing, just because he has really good stats, really powerful because of the upgrades and everything like that. So if you upgrade a Gaf during the Final Fantasy Tactics rerun, then you're probably going to be at least really well off in this entire thing. But then there's also Titus. Titus is actually like really good, and it's just kind of fun. According to some other players in my guilds, Balo and Titus are some of the most scary units in the entire event, and that's pretty hilarious because Titus, really? But yeah, The dodge seems okay, but like the perfect for day 1 or whatever, I think is like a 3,000 points. Perfect, maybe 4,000 points. I'm not entirely sure, but anyway, that's essentially what it's looking like. I know that there are some people in my guild just working really, really hard. I've seen tanks with reports of tanks with 85 base missile resistance. So it's pretty fierce and it's pretty interesting. And I think that everyone here on JP is actually having fun. Go figure. And that brings me to the next thing I want to talk about. So, I mean, I'm trying to keep note of this for time codes because people are being like, Umbra, time codes, time codes. Where are the fucking time codes? Well, the time codes are... I'm trying not to, miss it or anything like that. But the other thing was Pechon released a video today, which was pretty interesting, and I want to just talk... I'm going to start off by reading the title. Regarding the future streaming of Phantom War, basically War of the Visions, contact us with channel transition, current motivation, sales, request for management, inflation, FF9 collaboration reprint, and Wotv's strongest tier ranking. So basically, like, Pechon is kind of doing this video where he is going to be talking about a lot of the things that is going on with his channel, and it's pretty interesting to watch it. I'll probably throw a link. I think he is going to essentially have like 2 different channels now or something like that. And it is kind of because he in the future I plan to upload videos of Phantom War here, currently in transition period, sorry for any inconvenience. So there is going to be a new channel, Pechon, or 2 Pechon, and I will throw a link to that in the comments section so that you can check that out and go subscribe, of course, and give Pechon all the love that you want. And then there's lots of comments, people saying their gratitude to him for doing it, and that he's like, if Pechon was to retire, I would retire. So just so you know, Pechon's doing a lot of heavy lifting for JP players, some of the biggest. And also, I mean, he might be, by the sounds of it, doing maybe some more streaming and whatnot. A lot of people have been thinking, like a lot of JP players as well, have been thinking that, oh, he's probably gonna pack it up, leave the life behind of Wotv, because Wotv has to be dead, right? Wotv has to be essentially going the way. And this is the thing that you always hear all the time on here. People are coming here and comment, oh, it's EOS. I knew this game was going to be dying or whatever. I knew that there was going to be nothing left. I knew it was going to be bad and whatnot. And then everything's bad. Everyone's retiring and whatnot. So that, I want to say, is absolutely not the case. Pechon's video went very deeply into basically talking about what he is going to be doing and what you can expect from the second channel. And also what he's been talking about since he also talked, sorry, let me reorganize. He's also been talking about what has essentially happened since last year, where basically when the Wotv has switched over its monetization system, it's not spiking super high that much anymore. But this is the much more key point that Pechon has been talking about, is that the financials of Wotv have actually become more stable on JB, actually fairly considerably stable, and just generally that's a little bit better probably for where the game is. So it's interesting to see this perspective, because I know that some people have been saying, hey Umbra, why don't you do a research video about Wotv's financials and comparing it to FFBE and everything? And I'm sure, yes, I would love to do that. But that is a monumental amount of time that I don't really have time for right now, because I am essentially studying to try and get a better job to improve my life. because I have been in a bit of a rough patch for like the last year. So it's spending a huge amount of time on a video that's just not going to get that many views is not super appealing to me most of the time. My videos are fairly quick because I enjoy supporting the community. I enjoy supporting the people who enjoy this game, but it is a big act to be like, hey, just, you know, should put a ton of time for something that you're not sure is going to pay off when I could be just studying, which I think will pay off much better. That's essentially it. But talking about it, like, Pechon is very not negative about the game's state of life over on JP. As a matter of fact, he is like really generally positive. It's not like it is great, like Wotv is the best that it's ever been, or this is the height of Wotv or anything like that, but it is really, really stable for the drops that it has previously gotten. Like in previous years from 2023 to 2024, the annual monthly income in January, something that he pulled the numbers for, went from like 4.04 down to 2.89, but down to over 2024 to 2025, 2.89 to 2.48. So it kind of shows that their like year over year, like gachas are harder to maintain unless you are just one of the lucky ones where people are, you know, it's their life now. Wotv being able to have systematically reduce the drop in income year over year is massively encouraging towards the actual lifespan of the game. Because if it was fluctuating, if it was too much of a risk, I could see them pulling the plug more likely than if it is a stable income. Because a stable income, basically, you can kind of plan for it. You can much more like allocate resources properly and everything like that. So I think that overall that is a pretty positive thing, that both Pechon is not giving up on the game because he feels that confident about it. Now, even if I was to say, like, now about Global's a different story, obviously, but Global's operating income can't be that high since they basically cut essentially everything out. What I'm trying to say here is that I don't think that Wotv is going to really massively change over the next, like, I mean, I don't think it's going to massively change from now on, but at the same time, like, that doesn't mean that Global is bulletproof or anything like that. If if it just goes to zero income, they'll obviously just close the game, but at that point, no one will care. But I mean, it probably bodes pretty well for Global that they will not get rid of it anytime soon, since JP is essentially doing a lot of the heavy lifting, and Global is probably a bonus on top of that, which is, you know, pretty good. The other thing that is talked about is that since April of last year, when we had the Ashen Mont and Joom spike, that was a pretty big increase, or like, given that Wotv has seen fairly massive decreases, there was something that was essentially done right. And that's why I think we're also probably going to see a repeat of that this year. Some kind of power spike, because power spikes, even if they're annoying, even if like people hate them because it's like, oh man, my units are invalidated or something like that, which isn't necessarily true. It is exciting. It is a moment that actually gets some people's attention and talking about the game and whatnot, and breeds a little bit new life, especially when you get collaborations and whatnot that all work essentially together. So yeah, I guess the thing here is that the big takeaways from the end of this video is SSR Arena is pretty cool. JP players are having some fun with it, and it is generally receiving positivity, which is super for basically where we are right now in this game's lifespan. And that, you know, Pechon is not quitting. If you are going to his YouTube channel, his Wotv stuff looks like it will be switched to channel 2 or some amount of his content will be switched over to channel 2. How it'll exactly all pan out, we'll have to wait and see, but there you go. And last but not least is that Wotv is not in as bad of a spot as you probably think. And yes, the music has ended. I noticed that. So that is all just really, really good. Wotv is, doing fine. It's actually doing okay for what it is. And given the overcrowdedness in the gacha market, like, I can't say that I despise Wotv or anything like that, because they're doing what they can. So yeah, that's all for now. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Go check out the new Pechon channel, throw them some support, and we'll see you later. Take care. For news probably tomorrow.